So first things first, we're drinking something different today while we record.
Ooh, what are we drinking?
It's still gin based,
okay.
of course, but I made homemade spiced pear simple syrup. And so this has gin and the simple syrup, lemon sparkling water, lemon juice. And I think that's it.
That's it. Oh,
And yeah. And it's really good.
It's very tasty.
It is. I really like. Tastes like fall, doesn't it?
No, but it tastes good.
Oh, it's got like
it's no apple cider in this.
It's got anise,
cinnamon,
cinnamon, and all those good kinds of things in it.
Well, it's tasty. I'm enjoying this.
I'm glad.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to our podcast, Wandering Works for Us. We are Shelley and Beth, a married couple living in Portugal and traveling the world. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our podcast. I'm Shelley.
And I'm Beth.
And we are Wandering Works for Us.
Yes, we are.
That's all I got. That was it. Thanks for listening.
Yes. This is going to go well, isn't it?
I can tell already.
Yes, it is.
Okay. What are we going to talk about today?
We're going to talk about our spoiler alert fabulous trip to Amsterdam.
Oh my gosh, it was so much fun.
Ugh.
We love that city.
We did.
We still love it, even though we're not there anymore.
We do. We already are thinking about going back.
Yes, because there's so much more to do. Of course, we tried to do a lot. All of it, maybe, in Amsterdam. But there's more of the Netherlands that we didn't really see or spend a lot of time in. But we did a good full 7 days in it. Well, no, that's not true. We did a good full 5 days in Amsterdam.
Yes.
2 days we went on a side trip, and then the 2 days we were gone, we were traveling. So
yes. So it was really
full.
Great.
What did you like about this trip?
It's a little hard to put into words, I think, but people were really nice. It was so beautiful. The canals are so beautiful, and a lot of Christmas lights were up.
That was nice, yeah.
Yeah, and can I just say, they make their own gin called Genever.
It's not really gin.
Yeah,
but it's
slightly
close to
different,
gin.
but it's
Yeah.
close. There was craft beer everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they have stroop waffles.
Oh my God, the street waffles.
They have incredible licorice.
Yes, everything.
And what else am I missing? There were other things that we were looking for. The pancakes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and the cheese.
Notice we're a little food and drink centric.
Yeah. So,
because there was art and
there was.
architecture.
Oh, I didn't mean that.
Great history there too. But
I
yes,
was just listing food.
I asked you what you liked.
Yeah.
About the
So,
trip,
and then I went on with the food, and they have an incredible art museum. Well, they have more than one incredible art museum. The Rijks is the one that I really liked.
Yeah, that was amazing. We spent 4 hours in that museum getting our art on.
And I saw masterpieces that I haven't seen before, and that was really, really cool.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
Same. And some stuff that I thought I knew, but I didn't, maybe. Because I'm not an art-based person, but, I'm familiar with names like Rembrandt and Vermeer and Van Gogh.
Yes.
But, that the rest of them, I got a pretty good education while we were there. So we visited 3 museums while we were there.
Yes.
One was the Rijks, which is the National Museum.
Mm-hmm.
And that thing is 4 floors.
Yes.
And it's done by centuries, I think.
Yes, it is.
Or millennials, I'm not sure. But there was so much to see in there that we were there for 4 hours. We did not see it all. We missed the total top floor, which was mostly contemporary art anyway. And the ground floor had some Van Gogh. No, I think it maybe was the first floor that had the Van Goghs there. And then we missed the whole Asian thing. We missed the whole glass. We missed the underwear exhibit. And I'm down for an underwear exhibit.
Corsets and such. Yeah. It was kind of like the Louvre, where you spend a solid 4 hours, at least that's kind of my limit, and then everything's looking the same. You're exhausted and you really need a coffee or a beer or something. Since we love Amsterdam so much, we'll go back to the Rijk and finish
see the
it.
rest of it. I guess, yes.
Yeah, we will.
But we also visited the Van Gogh Museum.
And that was also very good.
I loved that one.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know a great deal about him. So it gives you a lot of history about his life. It gives you some details about his background, where he was, why he painted certain things. And, you know, I was captivated by the fact that there was some mental illness going on there. And I was curious about, you know, how and why that came about. They're not real clear on it, really. It was very cool to see the progression of his art and the people that were involved in his life during that period of time, because he did a lot of correspondence with people like Bernard.
Yes, the painter.
Emile Bernard.
Yes.
And there were sketches. There were other sketches by him in there and other artists that were influenced. That there was even a Monet.
Yes, there was.
That was very cool.
And there were Van Goghs that I didn't even know really existed, you know, that I'd never seen published anywhere. I'm sure they are, but I just had not seen them. So that was a really good museum.
We enjoyed that one. And then the last museum we went to that I'm going to tell everybody to go to, whether they want to or not, was the Anne Frank Museum.
Yes. They did the museum so well. You go actually into the real rooms where she lived for 2 years. It's really well done. I will have to say, for those of you who have gone to the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C., I did not think the Anne Frank Museum was as... It certainly affected me, but I was able to shake it off, kind of, if you will. I didn't go into a depression for 2 days after coming out of it. I did when I went to the Holocaust Museum.
Ooh.
With the Anne Frank Museum, you're really focusing on a few people.
Yeah, her and her family and the families that lived with her during the 2 years they were in the house.
And the people that helped them and that kind of thing.
That kind of thing, and then what happened to them afterwards.
And in the Holocaust Museum, you're focusing on the tens of thousands of people.
6 million.
Yes, 6 million.
That was a lot.
I started to say hundreds of thousands, and then I wasn't sure.
It's 6 million people.
And you see the broad scope of it more. And I think for me, that was way more disturbing, if you will.
Yeah.
Not that Anne Frank wasn't, but just not to the same level.
But it also gives you a perspective of this girl. She was just young. She was 13 or 14 when she went in hiding, and 15 when she was arrested, and her perspective on life in hiding, and, you know, how it affected her, but you see the grand scale also of, you know, she didn't make it. Oops, spoiler alert. She didn't make it.
Yes.
So, you know, I think it's something that everybody should at least see, or at least read the book.
It makes it very real.
Very real.
Just like the Holocaust Museum did.
Yeah.
It makes it very real. And what I loved about it in particular was that it was more of a personal story.
Yeah.
And we actually know who lived of that group. And I don't think it's a spoiler to say her father was the only one that survived.
Yeah, and he was the founder of the museum and everything.
Yes.
Comes after it. Yeah.
And there are photos of him later in life, you know, after all that. And you hear some of that story as well. Oh, and by the way, if you do go, make sure that you don't just do the museum entrance. You do the museum entrance and the 30-minute introductory program or whatever it was called.
That was very informative.
Because that was some of the best part, really.
Yeah, and even though you may know your history, it gives you some context of what you're getting ready to experience.
There were things that I did not know at all. I didn't know, of course, I haven't read the book, I'm sorry to say, but we did buy the book, so now I'm going to. I did not know that her dad had started that company and what that was when he, went to the Netherlands to begin with.
To escape the Nazis.
Yes, to escape the Nazis. We're going on about it, but it was certainly
I think
worth
that
it.
was a big impact on our trip.
Yes, it was.
Another big impact on our trip was the food.
It sure was.
Okay, so the majority of our trip was spent walking the city or going from, we would have one particular thing we were doing that day for, go to a museum or, basically it was go to a museum or we're going somewhere specific.
Right.
But we're going to wander our way through the city to get down there by the time that we're supposed to be there.
And then we probably had dinner reservations. But yeah.
And so, we had a goal in mind, but a lot of it was just wandering, as we do. And the great thing about Amsterdam is that it's easily walkable.
Very.
Because it's mostly flat. I mean, there's some tiny hills, but it's really not.
Compared to Lisbon and Porto
My
and
God.
Rome and, no.
There's no hills.
It's essentially flat.
It's the bridge going over the canal that's the hill kind of thing. And the most that we had to really look out for were the bicycles because there are specific bicycle lanes everywhere. And so you were crossing a road, so you're looking for a tram or a car. And then you're crossing another small thing that looks like a sidewalk, but it's not.
It's a bicycle lane.
It's a bicycle lane. And
and then after that is the sidewalk.
And then you get to the sidewalk. So if you're crossing a big street, you're like, okay, bicycle lane, big street, bicycle lane, sidewalk.
Yeah. Sometimes a median in between all that.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, so you really, we got in the rhythm of it, I think.
Finally, maybe by the second, third day,
but it was
we're
definitely something we had to keep in the front of our mind when we were walking around.
But the city is also very easily navigable. And we used Google Maps a lot to get us to where we were going. And it also gives you tram options. And the cool thing about their public transportation system is you use your bank card. You don't need to go find a system or a subway to buy a ticket or anything like that. You just swipe your bank card when you get on and swipe it when you get off. And it's easy peasy.
And it's all trams. It's all above ground, obviously.
Well, no, there's some buses, but it's...
Well, yeah.
But what we were doing was trams.
But there's no subway.
There is actually a metro system. We never used it.
Underground?
Yeah.
How is that possible? They're built on water.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't think so.
We might need to look that up.
Yeah.
I kept seeing a big M, though, in certain places.
A metro?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay, well.
I don't know. We used the trams.
Okay, we're unsure about that.
These people are amazing architects. Of course, they built tunnels
Maybe
underwater.
They did. Who knows? The tram system was easy. It was comfortable. It was clean. It was safe. I'm sure if you get on it at 8 o'clock in the morning, it's probably crowded with locals going.
But we're never up at 8 o'clock in the morning.
We're never getting on the tram unless somebody made us at 8 o'clock in the morning. It was very, very easy to get around town. And as Shelley said, you can just use your bank card or your credit card, whatever.
Pop on, pop off.
Yeah, put it, on the thing. It was really easy.
And once we figured that out, getting around was a piece of cake.
But you said we were going to talk about food.
Well, I'm getting to that part.
Okay.
Because normally what we did is we trammed to the food.
That's true. I'm just trying to bring the horses back into the barn as it goes.
You can tell we're from North Carolina, can't you? So the food. First of all, eat the local food. I am going to not pronounce anything correctly because Dutch is hard. And
very different than Portuguese.
Yes, and I wasn't there long enough, but try the pancakes. And there's two different kinds of pancakes that I know about. One is a giant pancake that's like a crepe almost.
Mm-hmm. A little thicker than a crepe.
A little thicker than a crepe, but it's about it's like that, but eggy. I would say. And you can put almost anything on it like a crepe.
Yes.
I mean, you go to a great place like the Pancake Bakery, I think was our favorite place for pancake. We
loved that. Yeah, we went there twice. We liked it so much.
There were amazing.
Yeah, and bigger than your head.
Yes, the food was, it was too much food.
But it was really cool because I always want eggs and pancakes. And it was really cool if you got an omelet and I got a pancake, and then we could do half and half. That was good.
That was good.
Yeah. And you can do savory pancakes. You can do sweet ones. You can do, you can
mix it up.
You can mix it up.
The syrup is a little different than probably most Americans are used to, but
the syrup was much better.
It was better.
And it wasn't as mapley either. It's not like maple syrup. It was different than that, but it was very good.
The other pancakes were these little tiny fried dough like pancakes. They called them small pancakes, and it starts with a P.
And it has a J in it.
And there's a J in it. And the
profiteroles? No, that's not it.
I don't want to pronounce it, but they're the tiny pancakes, and they're almost like little fried dough fritters, but they're not like puffy fried dough. They're like pancake.
They're flatter.
Yeah. And they serve them with powdered sugar and butter. Oh my God.
Those were fantastic.
Those were the best. So you have to eat those.
Yeah. Be sure you eat those. That was great. And then if you like, let's stay on the sweet for a minute.
Okay.
And then if you like licorice, which I happen to love.
Now, we're talking about black licorice, but if you go to the Netherlands and you say black licorice, they're going to tell you that's the only type of licorice.
Yes, they are. And then there's all different types of black licorice.
Yeah.
The kind that we as Americans think of, they actually take the black licorice and they add, was it anise?
Anise
to it to make it taste like I'm going to say a black jelly bean.
Yeah, or sweeter. She said sweeter.
Oh, yeah, sweeter. I guess black licorice without anything added to it, she said, is quite, did she say tart? Sour?
Maybe sour was the word, yeah.
I also got some that was ginger, and oh my, that was so good. But there are approximately 1,200 kinds that you can get, and we will link in the show notes, and Shelley's already probably put it in the blog. I haven't read it yet. This great candy store.
I put it in the blog, yeah.
That you can go, and they have tons of licorice and other kinds of candy as well. And it was a fun little store, local shop to go and buy candy at, as opposed to one of the tourist places.
Yeah, it was cute. And the licorice that we got with the anise in it, they were shaped like little rats.
They were.
I like biting the heads off of them.
And it
very good.
It was delicious. I loved the licorice.
And the other sweet thing, stroopwafels.
Oh my goodness,
y'all!
We cannot overstate how good these are when you are standing right there at the griddle and they're making them in front of you and putting the hot caramel in there and then handing it to you in a little paper folded flat cone like thing, and you're eating it fresh and hot. Oh my.
Yeah, these are not the ones that you get at Costco.
I mean,
no, they are not the ones you're getting at Costco.
They don't. Yeah. I mean, those are still good.
Yes, but no. No, these are way better. And I'm going to say we went to a famous place, which I have got in the blog. I have done a whole Google Maps place of everywhere that we went. So it's tagged. You can like look at it. You can see where we've gone. But we went to a famous place that did the stroopwafels. And there was a line out there. And I think that stroopwafel was like €7.50.
Yeah.
Which is outrageous price for a stroopwafel, to be honest. But it was a tourist kind of deal, and they had all kinds of stroopwafels and goodies and stuff in there.
And it was one of the oldest stores.
Yeah.
So it was kind of authentic and old.
And it was all, was it Art Nouveau decorated?
Art.
It was beautiful. You know, it's worth the visit, even if, you don't get a stroopwafel. And you get to see them make them on there.
Yes.
But we also had one from a truck right outside the Gogh Museum.
Mm-hmm.
And that one was really good too.
Yeah.
So,
and it was what, $3.50
that
or
one,
something?
Yeah, that one was $3.50. So find the other ones that are like, go to the markets. The ones, like the general street market that's selling vegetables and goods and crafts and whatever that they set up almost every day, and find a truck and do a stroopwafel.
Yes.
There.
The trick is get them where they take it off the griddle and hand it to you still warm.
Yes, because that's the best.
Yeah, not ones that have been pre-made, if you will, and then they're just selling them.
No, don't do that.
Get
the
them,
ones that
get
are
the hot one.
Get the fresh ones.
Yes. Ugh,
So worth it.
yes. Can anyone tell that we loved the
We
stroop
love the
waffle?
strudel.
Oh my gosh. Also staying on food, I had a stamp pot. Well, we both did, I guess.
Yeah.
Tell them what a stamp pot is, Shelley.
The best way I can explain it is well, in this particular instance, you got 3 little dishes or 3 very small pans that had mashed potatoes in them. And the mashed potatoes were made with something different. Like one was made with cauliflower. One was made with leeks, I think. Maybe.
I think so.
And then it's topped with some sort of meat and gravy. So one had a sausage and the gravy on top of that. One had a meatball, and then there's one with the beef stew. And it's kind of like a sampler of their food.
That's what we had. But now a stamp pot in general is just one big one. You pick one and it's one big one.
Yeah, and so it's basically mashed potatoes with stew on top. And oh my God.
Yeah.
It is very, very good.
It was comfort food.
And we got ours at Bistro Amsterdam, which has become one of our favorite places.
Yes, we loved Bistro Amsterdam.
We love the staff there. We had walked in after the Anne Frank Museum. We just wanted a beer, I think, and maybe some snack food. We weren't really looking for dinner, I don't think. And the woman was like, "Do you have reservations?" It's a very small place. Mm-hmm. And her name is Jill. Hi, Jill.
Hi, Jill.
And we're like, "No." And she's like, "Well, you can sit at the bar." And we're like, "Great, we'll sit at the bar," because, in Portugal, there are no bars to sit at.
Yes, exactly.
That's a general statement, by the way. There are bars you can sit at. It's just hard to find.
Yeah, it's more of a cafe thing.
Yeah, and so we sat at the bar. We drank beers. She recommended the stamp pot. We got that. She made recommendations all night of fantastic food, and I would highly recommend that you guys go visit them. They were amazing.
They were amazing.
And they sing to you, too, so,
Yes. And if you do want to go, I would make a reservation.
Oh, yeah, go ahead and make a reservation.
Book a table.
And tell them we sent you.
Yeah, do. Beth and Shelley sent me. It was so good, and we had so much fun with Jill and with, what's the owner's name? She was so nice.
Shaskia.
Oh, is that it?
I think so.
Okay.
Shaskia.
We had so much fun with them that we actually went back the next night.
And we weren't as exuberant in our choices that time, I think, because we'd been to the Rijksmuseum all day, and we were exhausted, and I'd had too much beer by the time I reached them anyway.
Yeah, that's true. But it was.
We tried them again because it
and
was
had
worth
something
the
different,
experience.
and it was great.
Yes.
Yeah. So we highly recommend that.
Bistro Amsterdam, go check them out.
The Netherlands and other countries around them are really known for their cheese. And it's incredible cheese, like incredible Goudas and just all kinds of cheese. We brought back a spicy Gouda and a aged Gouda. Is that what we did?
I think that's what we did, yeah.
Yeah, because we really love Gouda. And it's hard to find in Portugal. I mean, you can.
We have to go to the Leclerc.
Yeah, we have to go to kind of a specialty grocery store.
And I think they have a general Gouda at the Pingo. Oh, it's just not the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We really enjoyed that. We went to a cheese shop and we ate a grilled cheese. We split one and kind of all had a snack. And that was delicious. And then there is the Shelley, is it pronounced Genever?
I believe so. Yes. Genever.
Maybe Genevieve? No.
That sounds so like Guinevere.
Yeah, it does. That's probably where that's
I would
coming
go with Genever.
Genever. And that is their version of gin. They've been distilling it for like hundreds of years. And we did a tasting. And they call them new Genevers and old Genevers, meaning the old ones have just been sitting longer in, some kind of specific cask, depending on, the type of it. And they were very good.
Yeah, you can do a Genever tasting almost anywhere. We did one at a specific restaurant that had been brewing their own Genever for a while. And I'm not even going to attempt to tell you what it was. I'll put it in the show notes, and it's also in the blog.
But let's just talk about for a minute Margot the bar cat.
Okay. She's going to have to talk about Margot the bar cat because I thought it was Mango.
It is. Mango.
It's Mango.
It's Mango. Mango the bar cat. It is. So we went there the first time the night we got there, actually. We went there for dinner. And we did not know that when we discovered they had a cat that they feed, and it goes out and wanders around during the day and it always comes back in at night. And it just wanders around the restaurant and everybody pets it and it's wonderful. We didn't know that that was kind of a thing in Amsterdam at that time. Mango was very sweet, and they have a Facebook or an Instagram account for Mango. And, she's kind of famous, and people go there and want to see her and all that.
And now you know about her, too.
Yes. So there we go. Mango.
As long as we're talking about food, I do want to say, especially, this is different for us living here in Portugal, but they have a grand variety of foreign food to get in Amsterdam. So I'll tell you to definitely eat the local food, eat the Dutch food, but also there's a lot of vegan restaurants. There was sushi, Thai, Vietnamese, Japanese.
Did you say Indian yet?
No, I didn't say Indian. And Indonesia. We ate at a fantastic Indonesian restaurant. It was actually outside of the city limits, more or less. We had to take an Uber out there, and it was a bit expensive, but it was worth it.
It was fabulous.
Ron Gastro Bar. Ron is apparently a Michelin star chef, and he's amazing.
Yes.
But this is his Indonesian restaurant, and it was incredible. We ate at a Thai restaurant, so you got such a variety of things that you can eat other than Dutch food. But, of course, when we go somewhere, we got to try the local fare.
Yeah.
So, speaking of local fare, make sure you try the bitterballen.
Oh, yes.
That was
We didn't talk about that.
Deep fried little balls that have like beef stew or some sort of stew inside of them. And it's hard to tell what exactly is inside of them. Our boat captain, which we'll talk about in just a minute, he said, you eat them with a little bit of mustard and you don't worry about what's inside.
Yeah.
So eat the bitterballen. We had it a couple of times. The texture thing got to me, but it was...
And I really liked them.
It was flavorful. It was good.
Yeah. Especially, I think I really liked them because I loved the mustard partial. They
had really good mustard
really
there.
Good mustard.
Yeah, it was very stony and sharp. Brown Cafe.
Oh, yes.
Now, at first, there's like several different types of cafes in Amsterdam.
Yes. There is the coffee shop,
which
we'll talk about.
We got a general cafe, which serves coffee and pastries.
Yes.
Breakfast food, that kind of thing. Then you have a brown cafe, which is more like a pub. It is a very small establishment, and they call them a brown cafe because they used to smoke inside of them, and it turned basically the walls and the ceiling brown from the smoke.
Yes.
There's no smoking inside of them anymore, but you can get really good beer or just a general Heineken if you want. They're very small, so you kind of have to show up at a good time to get a table, but they're so cozy and it's very cool. And then you have coffee shops.
Yes, indeed.
Which are different from cafes. Because in Amsterdam, it is not technically legal to have weed or marijuana or cannabis, but if you have a license to sell it, you can. And so there are several coffee shops all around town, some better than others. We have a list. Check the blog.
Yes.
But of course, we had to do some sampling. We had to try some out.
Oh, yeah.
And so on our wandering days especially, you can imagine we wandered quite a bit because we go into a coffee shop and then we eat a stroopwafel and then we walk around.
That's right.
And I will say that one place in particular had the best space brownies I think I've ever had.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'd seen so many clips on TikTok about people, trying space brownies and they don't affect them. But this was nice.
Yeah, and the name of it, it looks like it is pronounced Tweede Kamer, but in Dutch, that is not how it's pronounced. It doesn't even sound like Tweed when they pronounce it, but that's what it looks like, Tweede Kamer.
Yeah, I got it on the Google map, and I'll have it in the blog, and I'll put it in the show notes too.
Yeah.
But there are many, and at first, because when we stepped out of the airport in Amsterdam, the smell of marijuana smoke kind of hits you right then.
Indeed.
It's technically not legal to smoke on the street, but it's not something that people are going to get arrested for. We do not recommend it. Please don't smoke on the street. But there are plenty of places that you can go and smoke and try it out. And the people and everyone that we went to were very knowledgeable and helpful.
Yeah, they could do a lot of recommendations and say, have you ever smoked before? Do you smoke every day?
Yeah.
Those sorts of things. And I recommend this. And
yeah, because, we don't smoke every day.
No.
This was a big week for us, but we were able to get good recommendations, and we enjoyed ourselves quite a bit.
We did.
So, coffee shops, woo. One of the things we do recommend you do is take a canal tour.
Yes, no matter how touristy it sounds,
or cheesy or whatever,
you see so much that you would never see.
But try to take one on a small boat.
Yes.
Now the boats can't get that big. Those canals aren't that big.
No. Specifically though, go to those damn boat guys.
Yeah, we highly recommend them. They are awesome. And they have plenty of packages for you to choose from, and you can order drinks or food or whatever to take on the boat. We were there in November, so the crowds weren't big at all. We were on a boat with two other people from Connecticut. Our boat guide could be very personal with us. We had plenty of questions. He gave out great recommendations. He was just fun. And the boat rides are very smooth. I believe they're done by electric
I think so.
motors, because there's no sound. You can hear a motor running, but it's not like a gasoline motor.
Right.
And there's no fumes. And it was just really a very tranquil experience.
It was. And you're on canals, some of them that go through residential areas that you might not walk through.
That's true.
Unless you're seeking something else specifically. So you see so much more, and you hear so much about the history of the buildings. And yeah, it is, at least with those damn boat guys.
We were really impressed.
It was totally worth it. We highly recommend them. And they also do bike tours and walking tours if you're interested in doing those.
So do a boat tour.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
Totally.
Best time to go to Amsterdam? Anytime. No, not really. But
yeah,
it rains. It gets cold in the wintertime.
And we certainly wore heavier jackets.
Yeah.
And
I had on a cap a lot of days because it'd get a little windy. Than
we wear here in Portugal. But it was not unpleasant necessarily.
And we were there in the beginning of November till the middle or so.
And it was a lot less crowded.
Way less crowded.
Yeah.
Now, apparently we were there during the rainy season, but it didn't rain on us, really.
No, it would mist some.
We had a couple days of misting.
Yeah.
It was cloudy a lot of days, but we were dry most of the time.
Yeah.
I think I took my raincoat once out with us. And
I
we
think
took an umbrella maybe once or twice just in case. But we were there at a good time. We did ask the locals when it got busy.
Yes, and they said April, May, and June.
I think that's tulip season.
And the reason for that is the tulips. We, of course, haven't even talked about tulips in this podcast so far. We did see some at the Tulip Museum.
Yeah, there's a tulip museum.
Sitting outside, they must force tulip bulbs all year long. They had some live ones sitting out, and they were lovely. The hordes arrive, I think, to see the tulips. Yeah. So they said April, May, and June. And then July, and especially August, they said is much quieter. So I think if you wanted to go in the summer, I would pick August.
I wouldn't. I'd pick July.
Oh, you would?
Yes, because in August, the whole of Europe goes on vacation.
Well, that's true.
So even Amsterdammers, I think that's what you call them, or people from the Netherlands, they're going to move probably south down to where we are and have their vacation where it's much warmer. But that might mean that, there's not as much open, or I'd wait, because August is just vacation month for everybody.
And I'm sure September and October are lovely.
You're going to have to compete with other vacationers too. So I might have a different opinion about this later, but I think August is just like the worst month to travel in Europe.
Yeah, although it's more accentuated for us, I think, because we live in a country where so many Europeans come for their vacation.
Yeah, maybe that's it too. So maybe if we're in Amsterdam
in
August and there's nobody there, we'll let you know.
Yeah,
so for now,
yeah. So I think we're a little bit jaded on that because it does get very busy here in August. In fact, we're going to leave this next August for at least part of the month.
Yeah,
because it's a lot.
It's too many people.
Yeah.
Now, while we were there, we did 2-day trips. One, we went to Utrecht.
Very good.
Utrecht. I can't even say that.
Yeah. We went to Utrecht.
The train system there, once you figure it out, is really easy to use.
Yes.
We did buy train tickets, but we didn't know that you could just use your bank card at the time. You could just swipe your bank card. You get on a train. You swipe it when you get out. You pay for the ticket. So easy.
Yeah.
These people have their shit together, man.
They do. And the trains, just like the trams, are clean.
They're clean, easy.
Efficient. Yeah. Really highly recommend them.
It wasn't crowded at all.
Again, we weren't on it.
We were in it in the middle of the day, but still, it wasn't very crowded. And Utrecht was 45 minutes, I think. I think it was supposed to be 30, but our train was 45.
Yeah.
And we were going to see a show, but we got there about midday and we saw the Dome Tower.
Yes.
Which is this beautiful tower that's part of a church. And they have some Roman ruins underground that they have excavated. And you can take a tour and you can see what's under there.
And it's called the DomUnder.
Yeah. And it's neat name. And it's really very educational to take the tour. I mean, the first 30 minutes of it is him explaining, all the settlements and everything that happened during that area.
History and
And then you go see the ruins, which there are not very many of them. It's a very short tour at that point.
Well, and they haven't excavated it all.
No, not all of it, but this one part you can see.
Yeah.
And then they tell you some information about Utrecht that once you get up to the upper ground, you can see like the outline of where the original settlement was and how it all fit into the scheme of things. And I thought that was really cool.
It was very interesting.
And that's kind of all we really had time to do while we were there. But they do have a fantastic shopping area that we walked through. All the stores were closed by the time we got there. Yeah. But they have that, and we had
and of
drinks.
Course, going in the church would be lovely, but we didn't have time to do that.
So we had left late. Well, we left a good hour, but our train was running late for some reason. So we had to rush for a few
then
things.
We found an Irish pub, of all things.
Of course, because, we're going to find the pub.
Had some nibbles and some beer, and that was good.
And we were good. And then we went to see our show, which was very good.
Yeah, Jason Isbell. For those of you that know him, he's from Texas, and he was doing a European tour. Some friends of ours are massive fans of his. We actually, to Amsterdam to begin with, we were with them for 3 or 4 days and went to the concert. And then they moved on and did something else, and we stayed in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
So his concert was great.
And our second day trip that we did was to Haarlem. We were having a hard time. There's so many day trips you can do from Amsterdam.
Yeah.
I mean, we could have stayed another week just to travel around the Netherlands.
Yes, we could have.
But we had to make some choices on what we wanted to do. And at first we were going to go to Delft because the pottery, and it looked like a really cute town.
Yes.
But then Haarlem kept coming up. So we went to Haarlem. And I'm kind of glad we did. That was a cute little town.
It was a great little town. It was very picturesque.
They have the Groot or the Groot market there, I think. I think that's what it's called. It was not happening when we were there. Now, we were there on a November Monday. And so, there might have been 3 stalls out. But apparently in the summertime, this place is packed and beautiful. And so there's a church right outside there, which I think is the St. Bavo Church.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say that right? I don't think so.
Bavo, B-A-V-O.
But it's the only church we visited while we were there.
Which is amazing.
It was,
I
because there were
usually
a couple
drag her
churches
into
in
many of them. I really wanted to go into this one because of the organ. But
Yes.
go ahead with what you were saying.
Well, I was going to talk about the organ.
Yeah.
But if you want to talk about the organ, you can.
It is one of the largest organs in Europe. Oh, well, that's not true. It is, relatively speaking, it only has, I think it's 5,000 pipes. I'm forgetting now. And some organs have many more. But the architectural casement that was built around it is just unbelievable. It is so gorgeous. Both Handel and Mozart played this actual organ.
That was the cool part.
Yeah. And
Architecture.
yeah. And it's a beautiful church anyway, and then there's this incredible organ. I really enjoy seeing the organs and just kind of reading about them. And so this was definitely worth doing. You can get all the information. Maybe you'll do a link on or a picture anyway.
Yeah, there'll be a picture and a blog post, a really short one. Yeah, because even on our day trips, which I thought we would do much more, I think we were pretty exhausted while we were there. And so we didn't do as much. Plus, we left later in the day, and the sun sets about 4:30.
Yeah,
and
it does.
it's so early, maybe 5, close to 4:30, 5 o'clock. So we burnt some daylight. But there's a great brewery in Haarlem, the Jopenkirk Brewery, which
Yes.
is an old church that's made into a brewery. They had great beer there. Of course, we're going to tell you all about the beer. And then they have a great shopping district, too. Cute little shops and places to go in and look around. We went into 1 or 2. I'm not a big shopper.
Jopen is spelled Jopen, by the way.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And I'll put it in the
so
show
you'll
notes,
see it.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But that was cool. So we didn't spend a great deal of time in Haarlem, but we had a good time. I would go back. I think on our next trip, I would focus on places outside of Amsterdam a little bit more.
Yes.
And go do some exploring. I don't think we were prepared for our day trips.
No, not as much. For
No.
one thing, we didn't decide on them, except for Utrecht.
Yeah.
Until we were right there. So, yeah, there's lots of places to go.
And we were there 7 full days. So,
Yeah.
we did a lot.
We did.
Amsterdam. Highly recommend.
Highly recommend.
We totally want to go back.
Yeah. See if you agree with the statement, Shelley. I do not think Amsterdam was exhausting like some of the bigger cities are. Amsterdam's not a small city, but there was something about it, partially probably because it was flat, but also there was just something about it that was not as exhausting as, say, Rome.
Yeah. Well, the energy there was very calm and very quiet.
Yes, it wasn't
And
frenetic.
people were very polite.
Yeah.
And there was only one instance where we came into a confrontation, where somebody was having a confrontation. It was on one of the trams. And I think he was a tourist and he was just being a jerk.
Yeah.
But
And it wasn't with us.
No, it wasn't with
we
us.
just observed it.
But we had even heard news about there being some conflict with some Israelis and something going on.
Yeah, that was after a football match.
Yeah, and we didn't experience any of that or see anything the whole time that we were standing. Like in the theater, people were polite about standing in front of you. Nobody was, being mean or jostled. It was just so peaceful.
It was.
Amsterdam was peaceful.
It really was.
And I think that kind of energy doesn't exhaust you. So you can go from place to place and you can encounter different things with different people. Now, I will say at one point, I did tell you we had to leave somewhere because people were on my nerves. It might have been at the Van Gogh. No, it was somewhere we were.
They were jumping in front of you when you were trying to look at something. I don't remember where we were.
It might have been the Rijks by that time, but we were in there for 4 hours before somebody got on my nerves.
Yeah.
You know, so that tells you a lot. When you're
Yeah.
in a place for 4 hours before they get on your nerves,
And-
that's pretty good.
And I assure you, it was not an Amsterdamer that was jumping in front of you.
it most likely was
another
not.
tourist.
So yeah, it's a very just peaceful, sweet city that I would definitely do again.
We highly recommend it.
Highly recommend. What do we got coming up next? Oh, we're going to London in 2 weeks.
Yeah, we're going to
Or maybe
London
a week, something like that.
in a week or so to see some Christmas markets and see our niece Katie. Hi, Katie.
Christmas market time. Hey, Katie.
Yep.
Yep, we got some Christmas things coming here in the village. Just so you know, we lit the Christmas tree last night.
That was
Had
big
a grand
fun.
party.
Yep.
And Beth's putting up the Christmas decorations here in the apartment. So we're
Yes.
getting ready for Christmas. And then I think we're going to probably just chill during Christmas this year.
I think we are.
Because Christmas in Portugal is a very chill holiday.
Yes. And of course, there's not Thanksgiving.
No,
so,
we have no Thanksgiving.
So people kind of go into Christmas mode, starting to put things up and stuff as early as
early.
October, you know. I mean, end of October.
I'd say more like November.
So-
right after All Saints Day.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So November. So I think it'll be nice.
Yeah. Please subscribe. Check out our YouTube channel. We got one of those. Check out all of our social media. If you want to get in touch with us, we do have a new email address at wonder@www4us.com. So you can send us an email, tell us what you think, or just, pop us a line on social media. I don't think there's a way to comment on our podcast specifically, but you could leave us a review if you'd like.
That'd be great.
We love 5-star reviews.
Subscribe.
Those are our favorite.
Make sure you subscribe. That
And
really
subscribe.
helps us.
Subscribe. All right. Well, that's it. So I guess, wow, what time is it? It's 10 minutes till 6 and it is dark.
Yeah. We've entered the dark.
We're in the dark ages now.
Yeah, we've entered the dark.
So,
But we'll still say
boa noite.
boa noite.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. If you would like to reach out to us or ask questions, you can find us on our social media pages on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. You can also follow us at our website, www4us.com. That's www.forus.com. Hope to hear from you soon. Obrigada!